At the end of the day, digital transformation is about people, not about digital. And the mindset here is the shift from pipeline to platform. There's a lot of talk about platforms these days. But what is that? I think you can only understand what a platform is when you understand what it was before, and that was a pipeline. In the old world of communications, and I had some good conversations about communications today with some of the communications team at Xero who are really on point with this, is that in the old world of communications, it was a pipeline. It was one brand story pushed down through a pipeline to the end user who was a media channel or customer or HR. It could have been a recruitment function even. It was one monolithic brand story. That was the one-to-many world where it was all about broadcast. Then guys got smart with technology and they realized actually they could move from one-to-many to this one-to-one thing where I can channel targeted messages to you. The problem is with one-to-one, and why one-to-one doesn't work is because your brand communication doesn't exist in a world of one. The average teenager grows up seeing 17,000 marketing messages by her 17th birthday, of which your one message is just one. It's a percentage of a percentage of a percentage. So the point being, if you're focused on one-to-one, you're going to get lost in the noise. And there's a heck of a lot of noise. And even that 17,000 stat, which I throw from Daniel Kahneman, I think, or David Kahneman, apologies if I got that right, the psychologist, that's old. That's like 10 to 15 years old, that stat. So let's even assume it's like 30 to 50,000, of which your message is one. That's the pipeline model. No matter how good it is, no matter how much you spend on creative advertising, no matter how much you spend on getting that award-winning marketing agency, you just won. Because if I see your ad, then I listen to 100 voices talking about your brand, or I go online or interact with friends, or I watch YouTube or go to social media, there are thousands of interpretations from the whole spectrum of great to terrible of your brand out there. A great case in point, Glassdoor. Nobody likes appearing on Glassdoor. When you Google your company and your Glassdoor review pops up, that is often disgruntled employees talking about your brand, ex-employees, sorry. So no matter how much you spend on, diversity or inclusion strategies or CSR or recruitment, that's just one of many, many competing or complementary brand narratives out there about you and what you're communicating. So one-to-one does not work because you cannot have this, it's almost selfish, this complete attention of your audience anymore. That world has gone. That world was a world where you had 4 channels on the TV. That no longer exists. There's thousands of potential ways that I can gather information about you and your brand. So we're moving from one to many. We're going through one-to-one, which is like the transition. And now we're moving to a world of many to many. In a world, it's like bird song, like birds singing to each other without sort of centralized, mediated control of the message. So how do you then win in a world of many to many? Because the fear that brands have in this world is that if I give my people the tools to tell their story, it's going to be a complete disaster. Yet, again, it goes back to, like, for example, if you wanted to train people to look after your customers, you don't need to train people to be human beings. What you need to do is break down the walls that prevent your people doing what they do naturally. If somebody sees somebody fall over in the street, you don't need a manual to go and help that auntie up off the floor. It's natural as a human being to go and help somebody, say, hey, you're right, how can I help? You don't need to be trained to do that. What stops you doing that are customer service training manuals or company policies or hierarchies where people look around and think, wait, maybe somebody else is going to step in and